It's time now to introduce our panel, and joining us right now on the set we have Bob Rice, who is the managing partner at Tangent Capital, and your website is 3movesahead.com. I like that name.
Thank you very much. It's after the book by the same name.
Okay, and by remote from our D.C. Bureau, we have Andy Foyce, who is the former Assistant Attorney General in the Clinton administration and also a Democratic strategist. And thank you for joining us as well, Andy.
Thank you, and good morning, Patty.
Good morning to you. We're going to talk about last night's Republican debate, but first, since we just had a whole segment on Operation Fast and Furious and these new subpoenas, let's get both of your take on that. Bob, you're a former prosecutor. What do you make of all this?
Well, to be completely blunt, I think it's, one part incompetent administration and two parts a lot of politicking. I think this is the kind of thing that people love to trot out. Everybody can get worked up about it, and there's no doubt that there were some horrible mistakes committed here. This was, first of all, just the very use of genuine live weapons as opposed to weapons that don't actually fire, weapons that don't have the sensors attached to them, lack of supervision. I mean, the ATF blew it, no question about it, and heads should roll over that, no question about it. But you can't help but get a feeling that, it's being trumped up a little bit because of the, political environment in which we currently are living.
So, Andy, Bob is saying heads should roll, and obviously Eric Holder, as the head of the Justice Department, is trying to protect his own head here. If he really did make false statements to a congressional committee, should he be held to account for that?
Well, we don't want an Alice in Wonderland investigation where you offer their head first and then you have the trial. This obviously, I agree, Patty Ann, that this was an investigation that used a lot of standard techniques but did a lot of things wrong in the course of that, and there were some very unfortunate, tragic circumstances. But we can't base what we do here on assumptions and body language like the good Congressman wanted to. I think the committees are right to have an investigation. They're right to issue subpoenas if they feel the department is being intransigent. But in terms of the Attorney General himself and the Congress, I've known Eric Holder for 20 years. Worked with him, worked for him. I can tell you almost categorically that he is not a man who would lie in any proceeding, much less to the Congress. He's a former United States attorney, a former judge, and the Attorney General of the United States. So I think that kind of assumption, working from that assumption, is where a lot of the politicking comes in. Another thing that people have to keep straight is this whole notion of a special counsel, and the Congressman talking about a special counsel not appointed by the Attorney General or anyone in the administration. Well, there is no independent counsel anymore. The Congress in the 90s decided wisely, I think, not to reauthorize the statute that gave us Ken Starr and so many of those independent counsels. The only special counsel authorized by law is an internal Justice Department regulatory special counsel appointed by and reporting to the Attorney General, him or herself. So let's let the investigation proceed. Let's let cooler heads prevail. Let's keep in mind there's got to be a lot of redaction, as you suggested, Patty Ann, because of sensitive law enforcement information, and we'll see where the facts lead.